We're going to go game by game, matchup by matchup, identifying the must-start players from every single game. On top of that, we're going to talk about the players we should be benching and those sneaky starts as well. Before we dig in, you need to drop your start-sit questions in the comment section below. Just type that out real quick. Hit that subscribe button right now because we're going to be doing this every Saturday, next week, the week after, next year, the year after. I'm going to be here for you after the Sunday games. We're going to be talking about the waiver wire. We're going to go deeper than anybody else. We're going to find those hidden gems for those deeper leagues and for everybody else. On top of that, we're going to deep dive all the trending prospects. Everybody got a question about that new starter. He's going to get a deep dive. You know everything about his background. This is a free resource. All you got to do is click that button so you don't miss out. Ric Flair's watching. You definitely don't want to disappoint the man. But our first game of Week 12 that we're going to cover, Bears-Steelers. We got a 45.5 over under here by Vegas. A spread of 2.5 here. Looking at this matchup, Aaron Rodgers got an issue with the wrist coming in here. He's questionable. Would not be surprised if we get perk Aaron Rodgers in this matchup. If that happens, we're going to let it rip there. That's when he's on cloud 9. That's when we're in the optimal flow state for Aaron Rodgers. All jokes aside, though, this could be the pinpoint of this matchup. That could be the thing that kills it. If we see Mason Rudolph out there, that could make it ugly. Dike Metcalf is an interesting start. I could say rough, but it's also a matchup where he could definitely hit. I could see that happening. All three tight ends should see targets in this matchup, from Washington to Smith to Pat Freiermuth. It's sad to say, but they're going to spread that around. Now you're going to see Gainwell versus Warren. They're both rough starts, but one of them's probably going to at least hit the fairway for you. And Gainwell's a sneaky play here if they got to hit the short passes. Now you're also looking at the Bears side. I think Caleb Williams is at least safe. I think if we get perk Aaron Rodgers and it runs bad, or just Mason Rudolph, that it could make it run bad. But I feel like he's relatively safe. Odunze, DJ Moore, both those wide receivers have good upside in this matchup, but they're a little bit risky due to the flow of the targets. Odunze, deep ball city. Odunze is hitting about every other game in a major way, one way or the other. Luther Burden could break out in this matchup. Considering the game script and flow of this matchup, I got Cole Kmet as a touchdown gamble. Colston Loveland has a lot of upside like always. Giants, Lions, 50.5 over under. We got thick-ass spread at 12.5. I expect a lot of scoring. Lions are supposed to be up heavy in this matchup, but would not be surprised if the Giants just make this a gritty matchup. What makes this tough is the Lions are at home. You got Jameis Winston at the helm here. He might moneyball you into good fantasy production. Devin Singletary's getting a lot of touches. He might cross the goal line. Tyrone Tracy's very explosive. A risky gamble for the flex this week. Wan'Dale Robinson might see some volume. Darius Slayton, deep ball dandy. Theo Johnson, you're looking for the score here, nothing else. Jared Goff's a safe quarterback for the week. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're firing him up. David Montgomery might splash this week in the red zone. Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo. Good week for both these wide receivers. J-Mo's more volatile. He's more of a risk. You already know that going in. You knew that when you drafted him. This is a matchup that you just got to roll with it unless you're blessed at wide receiver. And you're looking at the tight ends for the Lions. You're not rolling that way. I would not do that. Khalif Raymond could be your sneaky play. Isaac Tesla, maybe. I look for the targets to be concentrated to Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, 40.5 over under. We're expecting this to be a low-scoring game. We basically have no wide receivers for Cam Ward. DK's banged up, but we got that 4.3 speed in the slot. It's going to be interesting. This Titans team might not be able to move the football, or they might surprise us. We might see extra targets going to Chigakonkwu. That could be a money ball play that you may not want to make, but you may do it anyways because you have to. Sam Darnold, safe play, but I look for the upside to be reduced. Kenneth Walker's got the cue. We're watching that. If he's out, Zach Charbonnet will get a you need video tomorrow night, and I'll throw that up there for you guys to know more about him. Jackson Smith and Jigba should at least hit the fairway, if not cook. Cooper Kupp, rough flex gamble. Rashid Shaheed, upside play here. You want the deep target. You got 40.5 over under, and you got the Titans with no wide receivers. The run game might be heavy for the Seattle Seahawks unless something changes here. AJ Barner, you're hoping for the score. Patriots versus Bengals. We got 51.5 over under in this matchup. A thickish spread, and you're looking at Joe Flacco to start this game. We did have Joe Burrow practicing, so I don't know the full information on that. Sleeper has him with the Q as I see that, but either or, whoever's back there is going to be slinging the rock. 51.5 over under. Drake May's going to sling the rock. Wide receivers do well against the Bengals. So if you want to gamble on a wide receiver, Butte, Hollins, Douglas, if you want to gamble flex, one of those, not all three of them are going to hit, but if you want to gamble flex, look at the Patriots wide receivers. Another one is Yoshi on the Bengals, just in case. Flacco doesn't care. He's about to collect AARP, whatever that means, or Social Security. He's about done. He doesn't care. He just wants to sling rockets. He's throw God out there. He doesn't care. Let him sling it. So that being said, you might catch a hitter in this matchup from one of these ancillary pass catchers. T. Higgins, of course, you're starting. You're starting Chase Brown. Noah Fant could be a hitter. Also, you're looking at Hunter Henry here for the Patriots. Should be catching some extra firepower in this matchup. Tight ends do really well against the Bengals with a 51.5 over under. Safer play for him this week. Colts, Chiefs, 50.5 over under. Start everybody. Start everybody. The flex gambles, start them. Start them. Hedge with them. Break your ties with them. Rashard Smith is the man we're watching. I'm expecting him to blow up one of these games with Pacheco out. This is a matchup where they may have to throw it more. That might happen. I like Rashee Rice a lot in this matchup. Hollywood Brown would be a nice flex play for the week if you're looking for somebody to sneak by. Jonathan Taylor, you're starting. Michael Pittman, interesting matchup here. Teams have to go to their second, third, and fourth reads here. So Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce against a defense like the Chiefs. You might see some extra movement with them in this matchup. So I would look at everybody in this game because you're looking at this. You got Xavier Worthy with the Q here. You got some good firepower here. The way it would mess up Daniel Jones throwing picks against this nasty defense of the Chiefs. They're not as nasty as last year, but Danny Dimes could mess that up. Travis Kelce, of course, you're starting. You're also starting Patty. Easy game to really go with when it comes to start sits. Jets, Ravens. My gut says stay away. Stay far, far away. Stay far, far, far away. My gut says to stay away. So who could score you fantasy points in this matchup? Breece Hall, if he breaks one loose. A.D. Mitchell, if he decides to catch any balls. One of those wide receivers might sneak something past you. No one's starting Jets wide receivers in 12-man leagues, 10-man leagues. No one's doing that unless they're that bad off. They're probably out of it if they are. Derrick Henry's getting touches, and the Ravens might get up to where they're pounding him out. Lamar Jackson taking off with it. Zay Flowers getting the targets, especially with Rashad Bateman out. And you're looking at Likely and Andrews, and it's probably going to be split up 50-50 on who gets the money balls, the money shots in this matchup. Vikings, Packers, 41.5 over under. It's on J.J. McCarthy's shoulders. He could mess up the game script for everybody. Josh Jacobs, we're watching him. He'll probably nuke this. He'll probably come back and strap it up. He's a tough dude. I would not be surprised. We're looking at Manny Wilson. I said this in his unique video like 3-4 days ago. Like, Josh Jacobs could nuke him. Christian Watson, upside city, deep ball dandy. I like him in the flex. Romeo Doubs is your safer play. Matthew Golden is going to sneak past us one week. He's going to blow up one week. I don't know what week it's going to be. I look for this game script to be slower. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, you start, but you're very leery of. This is going to be a rough matchup. Aaron Jones might get you to the fairway, but nothing more. Luke Musgrave might sneak something in this game, maybe something in the red zone. He's a touchdown gamble for me, so that's something to look at. 41.5 over under. Vegas is saying, hey, watch out for the Packers defense. Watch out for J.J. McCarthy. This could be a rough one. Jaguars, Cardinals, 47.5 over under. I look for Trey McBride to go off and get a lot of targets. Michael Wilson to get some push downfield. Greg Dortch to get some volume to the short to intermediate. Bam Knight will get most of the carries easily. He's a rough start for you against the Jaguars who can lock down the run. Jacoby Brissett will throw it 35 to 40 times. So he's going to be nice if you're hurting at quarterback. Travis Etienne, Basil Tuten, they're going to share the workload. They might be up in this matchup more than anticipated if that defense can hold down Brissett, since they're hurting here at some positions. Now that we're looking at that, they might run it a little bit more. Basil Tuten's the hot hand. I'm not looking at any of the tight ends here for the Jaguars. Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. I lean more towards Parker Washington. I would not be surprised if one of those two wide receivers goes bonkers this week. Browns, Raiders. We got a 36.5 over under. One of the lowest implied point totals for the week. Traditional 12-man leagues, you're not looking at this game. Like a traditional 12-man league, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Quinshon Judkins, and maybe one of the Browns tight ends, Fannin or Njoku, maybe. That's all you're looking at here. Now, if you want to go contrarian, one of the Browns wide receivers, deep ball dandying it up, and it's probably going to be Tillman or Judy, and it's going to be on a deep play splashing. That's probably going to happen. There's a good chance we hit the under still at 36.5. And if not, it's going to be like right around that total. I do not expect this game to go off. I don't know which quarterback's going to struggle more, Shedeur or Geno, because Geno's got to go up against that Browns defense. Shedeur's got to settle the fuck down. If he does, we might get some okay movement in this game. That's one thing to pay attention to. The offensive line for the Browns sucks. They're not that great at wide receiver. It's going to be hard for them to accommodate the young quarterback with limited practice time in this offense. That's going to be hard for them to do. It's going to be hard for the Raiders. I look for this to be a nasty game. Eagles, Cowboys, 47.5 over under. Start everybody. Start everybody. Maybe A.J. Brown, you're going to not want to. That could be the rough one. He is quiet quitting / being a Karen in the media. He's being rather boisterous, whatever you want to call that. Devonta Smith seems relatively safe in this matchup, even though none of the wide receivers fired in week 1 against the Cowboys. Saquon Barkley should hit the fairway. He may not blow up in this matchup unless he scores big in the red zone. Javonte Williams, you fire him out. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. Their workload is concentrated. Dak Prescott, I never want to go up against him. Jalen Hurts, same thing. I kind of like Dallas Goedert in this matchup, especially with the 47.5 over under. I would not be surprised if this game hits the under. I would not be surprised if this game goes way past the over. It's either doing one or the other. It ain't hitting in the middle. Falcons Saints. I think this game could blow up. The question is, you got Cousins versus Shuck. And that could just make it like a slap fest. Like two quarterbacks just slinging it deep. And the Saints are down Brandon Cooks. So Tipton and Vele could be your sneaky plays. Chris Olave, you're starting, but you kind of have your doubts. Kamara's got the Q. You kind of got your doubts. Devin Neal, if he's in, you still kind of got your doubts against the Falcons D, but you like him better as your flex gamble anyways. Bijan, you're starting. Darnell Mooney, I like him as a flex gamble, not a guarantee wide receiver too. Fantasy community boosted him last time in this situation against the Dolphins as a wide receiver too. I had him as a flex gamble, like you throw in and close your eyes with Kirk Cousins, because you do not know what you're going to get out of Kirk Cousins. I think that's fair. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Shuck, but I think he's going to push it more downfield. I think he'll suck at football, but be okay for you for fantasy football. Bucks and Rams, you're starting everybody. Sean Tucker is a touchdown gamble, so you're hoping the game script hits enough where he gets that red zone look. Rachaad White, I expect him to get 5 to 8 targets in this game, in the short to intermediate. They're hurting at wide receiver. Chris Godwin, you're paying attention to his status. Emeka Buka should make it rain. Like, we should see a fun game here. A lot of back and forth. Kyron is good to start. Puka's good to start. Devontae Adams good to start. Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, they should both let it rain. Cade Otton, a sneaky play here if you need one at tight end. Panthers, 49ers, 49.5 over under. I keep looking at this game. I keep looking at it. I think it's either going to break one way or the other, like low scoring or super high scoring. And I think it's on Bryce Young. This is an advantageous defense to go nuts on, but it's also Bryce Young. And if that happens, T-Mac goes off, and maybe Xavier Legette gets some sneaky workload. Watch JT Sanders. I would only start him in 14-team plus if I'm that dire at tight end. Brock Purdy, good to go. Christian McCaffrey, good to go. Juwan Jennings, good to go. Ricky Pearsall, risky flex. George Kittle, good to go. And this one's pretty cut and dry. We're just seeing what Bryce Young can do here. If we can get some good back and forth in this game, at least the Niners side, I feel relatively safe with. Those are the matchups for Week 12s. Your must starts, your sneaky starts. Some of these guys you got to bench. Let me know your start-sit questions down in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.